Hey guys, so I was about to go to bed, but then I was watching this Amberlynn Reid video that she put out today. And I don't know if this is super common. I'm not like a person that watches her all the time, but she was saying fat acceptance talking points and kind of pushing that rhetoric. And I want to go ahead and show you guys and I want to talk about it and I want to break it down. I think that she also shows something really important about the issue of obesity that I want to get into. But if you like this sort of thing and you're interested in learning more about the fat acceptance movement, how to fight it, as well as weight loss and issues of obesity, please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to share more with you. But for now, let's go ahead and start diving into Amberlynn Reid. This channel is a trip. For any of you guys who don't know who she is, she's kind of like a hot mess on YouTube. She's been trying to lose weight for a really long time, and a lot of people really don't like her. And there's really a lot of reasons for that. I think she has, she has a lot of stuff going on where she's put stuff out there with her relationships, and there's been stuff with animals, I believe, like where people felt like she wasn't treating her animals right, and just stuff like that. If I remember correctly. If I don't, I'm sorry. I must be thinking of somebody else, but I would just say she's known as like one of the problematic ones. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this and see.
I'm sad because I don't know, I thought of something because I just found out something. So a lot of you say that, like, I'm looking for a caretaker. And for a minute there, I was just like accepting it because you guys know I do not drive. I just don't. I don't drive. I have an anxiety, but obviously I am thinking about getting my license. That is something I'm thinking about. And I get a lot of crap for the fact that I don't drive. But I just found out, all within the span of 24 hours, that y'all's favorite reaction channel doesn't drive. And Tana Mongo, whatever her last name is, I'm bad at pronouncing, as you guys know, she also doesn't drive. It's just like there's a lot of other, obviously, probably people on YouTube who don't drive, and no one says like, oh, you need a caretaker. So I have put two and two together, and I've realized that people say that to me because of my weight.
So she has made this connection in her mind. I will just say, you are really hated, Amberlynn. So when you are kind of persona non grata in general, in the eyes of a lot of people in the public, in the eyes of YouTube, you could do anything and people will hate it more. It doesn't really have much to do with your weight. I also find it interesting that she says she gets a lot of crap for not driving. I think that's kind of an American thing, but also too, there could be a perception of, are you not driving just because you don't want to, or are you not driving because you really can't? You kind of say that and refute it within your own statement because you say, I'm thinking about getting my license. Well, that means that there's no like real disability when it comes to driving, and there could be a perception that people see you as just wanting to be taken care of in that way. I see that as sort of common, where a lot of people, they have a sort of anxiety about driving, like an anxiety about being independent. And with throughout the rest of this video, she was talking about how she was really tore up about breakups and a couple of her exes. She says she's in love with two girls at once. Like, she's got a lot of stuff going on in her life and in general. And so I feel like it's possible that people could be saying you need a caretaker because you present yourself as very codependent. I also don't know that Tana is super personal with her content. I don't remember her being that way. I just remember story times and stuff. I haven't watched her in a long time. I don't like her. But I also just want to say that it's kind of, I don't know. It's a little bit cringy to not drive if you can. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm sorry. So let's continue.
I'm feeling sad about it. I just don't think it's okay. I literally live on my own. I do everything by myself. I don't need nobody. But yes, I don't drive. And come to find out, a lot of people don't. A lot of people that I thought drove actually don't. So are we gonna look at the reaction channel and say, oh, you need a caretaker because you don't drive? It's just like,
So usually people aren't going to do that kind of thing if you don't have a personal channel. So having a personal channel is a decision you made. And when you have a personal channel, people make judgments about your personal life. It's something that occurs. It's one of the drawbacks of having a personal channel, but it's also, it can be like a blessing. Like I myself, I do have a personal channel. It's not this one, but I do because I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy the diary aspect of it. I enjoy that kind of stuff. But yeah, of course, it's not fun when people are judging you and whatever. But you have to realize like if you don't act appropriately, people are going to judge you for it. They're not going to like it. And I think Amberlynn is a huge troll. Like I think she does troll a lot because she likes to say one thing and do another, and she kind of does that a lot. I've seen in her content. And I think she does it in part because she knows it will get a response. But for me, and within the context of this video, I just find it interesting that she sees it as a fat issue. And I just think there's many aspects of your channel where people are commenting on your weight, and I don't think it's very subtle at all. I think a lot of commentary channels talk about you, Amberlynn, and they're always blatantly talking about your weight. Like this is just probably throwing shade over the fact that they're saying you're not independent. They're saying you're not independent in general. Tana Mojo, I don't know her really, but the impression I had is that she's relatively independent as a person. In fact, she was helping employ other people. She was networking. She was doing stuff. She seemed more career focused. And if she doesn't drive, the impression is just that, like, she just doesn't want to, or she's too busy, or whatever, or she's just tired from everything else she's doing. And so she doesn't want to drive. Like, I remember Shane Dawson, he didn't really like driving. He could drive, but he didn't really like it. He always had Rylan drive. I think he still does. And it's like he feels like he's being taken care of. And that's the impression I get, and it's like sometimes people that are really career driven, they want to be taken care of in that way. But that's not the impression that you're giving. You're giving the impression of somebody who's not independent at all. And it's like, I just think it's very reductive to say that it's just your weight because there's a lot of other stuff. And you can't get on a video and cry like a baby throughout the whole video about breakups and all this stuff and like how much of a mess you are and then be shocked if people don't see you as independent. The lack of awareness it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's cringe. I can see why there's haters. I know that's mean, but this is the kind of stuff that will get people to not like you.
it's such a weird concept to me that like it's okay to say that to me because of my weight. I wasn't gonna say anything, but it's just like I need to like stick up for myself. I need to stand up for myself just a little bit more. I'm just not doing enough of that. I think it's really important that people stand up for themselves.
That's really cheesy. So I would say, I think when it comes to this, it's really interesting to see her just deflect and use her weight as the reason. Her weight is the only reason why people say this about her, the only reason. And it's like, your whole channel is based around your weight. Like my whole channel, this channel is based around my weight. It's a huge topic on it. But don't sit there and act like it's only your weight that is causing that. Like it's how you're acting in general. And it's the lack of appropriateness of certain things that you've done. It's the the constantly saying you're going to diet and then not doing it. It's the constant back and forth type of stuff that really gets people irritated. But also people are entertained by it and they just like to talk shit, basically. A lot of people love talking shit. I myself do too, but I try to like, you know, I'm trying to be better about it, I guess. But it's like realistically, there are so many other reasons why people say this about you. It's not your weight. It is so dumb to try to say that it's all about being fat. You get a lot of views. She gets a lot of views. She gets a lot of views. She's not hated because of her weight. She's not watched because of her weight or any of these things. It's like I'm sure the weight wouldn't help, you know? Like it'd be better if you were thinner, but it's like you've been fine to keep going regardless. So I just find it interesting that she's using these types of talking points. And I want to know, does she do this often? Because if so, we might have to talk about it more. But for all the fat activisty type of people out there, please keep in mind your weight does not shield you from the consequences of how you act. If you act strange or inappropriate, people are not going to like you. And that doesn't mean you should change to have everybody like you. It just means that don't act brand new or stupid when you're doing stuff that is not appropriate and people have something to say about it. Like, you know, there's a fine line between genius and madness. I'm not saying that Amberlynn Reid is a genius. I keep wanting to call her Anne Berlin. It's Amberlynn. um, I'm not saying that she's a genius, but I'm saying it's okay to go against the grain sometimes. But when you're going against the grain in a way that's self-destructive and toxic and hurting other people, you know, I've seen comments about her not treating her exes very well. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know for myself, like I haven't watched it, but it's just, I found this to be kind of manipulative in a way, and it irritated me because I'm watching her and she's crying the whole time, and then she's like about how she doesn't ever want to be alone, and then she's like, people just say I need a caretaker because I'm fat. It's like, maybe it's because you just said in the same video that you cannot handle being alone. Like she contradicts herself constantly. So I don't know. I mean, the contradictions are kind of fat activisty, but let me know, you guys, if she does this often. I'd be interested to hear. But that was interesting. Lastly, I just wanted to touch on the overall point of why I made this video, and it's essentially that she's using her weight as an excuse. And when you use your weight as an excuse, it can be a huge barrier to losing weight. I've been talking a lot about barriers to weight loss on my channel. I'll share the video. But I've been talking about it because I'm trying to like help people see maybe what's holding them back. And this is one of the major things is when you use your weight as an excuse. Well, people don't like me because of my weight. Well, I don't have this career because of my weight. Well, I can't do this because of my weight. I can't go to that party because of my weight. I can't do that because of my weight. Don't use your weight as an excuse. If you don't want to do something, then just say you don't want to do something. Don't use your health and like tear yourself down just to have an excuse for why people don't like you. It's super stupid. And that's what she's doing. The fact is, Amberlynn, the way that you act, if you were thin, people still wouldn't like you. And the fact is, even if you were absolutely perfect, there would still be people that don't like you because there will always be people that don't like you, no matter what you look like. So this was just dumb all across the board. But with that, you guys, I'm going to go. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, night, whatever. Let me know what you think. And do remember to subscribe. I'm going to ask you again. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.